And how long does it usually take to sort of locate or isolate any dietary problems with allergies?
Well, with food intolerances, it can take up to 4 weeks, and some of those foods may be okay. So I do get people to come back in 4 weeks' time to retest. I only retest foods because environment takes about 12 weeks at least to build up a tolerance. If they have major problems, it can take 12 to 16 weeks for a person to get over the cause of the problem before they go back to normal eating. But keep in mind, even with the normal eating and them coming back for that test, they may still have 1 or 2 things, like chocolate may still come up because it is bad. Coca-Cola may still come up because there are so many things. That cigarette smoke will always come up because it's really toxic and bad for them. So there are things, although some people have really good metabolisms and they can tolerate a lot more than other people, and it's amazing the things that you would think that would affect them, the toxins don't, because we're all different.
Is this age related? I mean, can we develop sort of allergies at different times or further on in our life?
Allergies are usually genetic, but there is a beginning for some people because sometimes the way we eat preservatives in our foods, a lot of people go on, they start taking diet drinks and diet sugars which are chemical based, and I found a lot of people who do that come with major anaphylactic reactions which are life-threatening because the chemicals don't agree with their body and they've never had them. Everyone's different. Babies, I treat babies, I treat old people, and you can have a baby as bad as an old person. So it just depends on their genetics and what sort of problems they have. But when bowel problems, most people have it. 95% of people have, to a certain degree, candida, which is a yeast infection of the bowel. And so different things will come up in different degrees, depending on how badly they have the problem. But they need to get onto it. You're better to get it at an early stage and get it quickly fixed because it takes longer otherwise to get on top of these things. But usually people can go back to normal eating, and maybe later on, 2 or 3 years later on down the track, they may come back with problems again because the way we live, our stresses in life cause a lot of problems, the foods we eat cause problems, and also our genetics can cause problems. So,
So there's a few factors involved.
A lot of different factors for different people. Some have all of them, some have one of them. It just depends on the person and, their lifestyle, basically.
Right. Simply put, is there any particular foods which are definitely best to be avoided?
Preservatives, one of the worst things. Australia's really bad. We have so many preservatives because we have supermarkets, so to keep things on the shelves they have to put preservatives in them. There are things, I suggest people look for things that are sealed naturally or heat sealed where there's no preservatives in them, in glass jars. Try to avoid plastic wrappers because they're full of toxins, especially if they're touching the food. And a lot of the things that people buy things in now are plastic. Go for glass where you can, or even tin is better than plastic. Things with unnatural diet drinks, anything with unnatural colours or unnatural chemicals in them are bad for us. So go for your naturally preserved, naturally coloured products. MSG's in a lot of foods. Avoid that at all costs if you can. It's very bad.
So I suppose it's becoming aware also of just taking a little bit of due diligence, so to speak, in what the product contains. Like you said, checking out the colorings, flavorings, and enhancers, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's very hard though because you have to have an additive book and you have to know what you're doing.
Exactly. Actually, that's a good point because I mean, for most of the time now, it's just generally number coded. Well, certainly here in Australia.
But on the other hand, what you can do if you find something that says on it no artificial colours or preservatives, you're fine because it's already told you that. So that's great. But you still have to check for other things. If you have allergies, of course, you have to check for other things. If it's just normal diet fine. Just keep away from the artificial colours and preservatives, and eat more fresh foods. The more fresh foods we can, hormone-free chicken, you can get preservative-free bacon now, and wheat is one of the worst things with preservatives. A lot of children have reactions to wheat, a lot of people with allergies have reaction to wheat. Not always obvious, but there. And wheat has one of the, probably the worst preservatives is in wheat. It affects a lot of people.
That's kind of surprising, isn't it? You'd think they would be...
But you can buy breads now which are preservative-free and yeast-free and wheat-free. You have to look and you have to check your labels, but they are out there. And that's a good thing. At least there's a positive. There are foods out there, but it does mean reading labels, and that can take a long time. So when you go shopping, if you're going to do that, you know, you're going to spend a couple of hours in the supermarket, not just half an hour that you normally do. It takes a lot longer.
So what sort of foods affect most people's general health, Jane?
Basically the foods I say are high-fat foods. Fats on meats are not good for you. High-fat dairy, creams, things like that. Salt, caffeine, and of course, as I said, your colours and your preservatives, which is the obvious one. Yeah, so if you keep away from most of those things, low-fat diet, low-salt diet, low caffeine, and just stick to your basic foods, your fruits, your vegetables, as long as you don't have problems, because even people with problems can have allergic reactions to fruits and vegetables too. So as long as you're just a normal person and you don't want to get these problems later on in life, be very careful. Keep your bowel healthy, extremely important for our digestive system. You see these ads on TV with the little men with the Inner Health Plus. It's correct. We really need to be putting the good bacteria back in our bowel, because our lifestyle is actually destroying that. And that is so true, and I see so many people with bowel problems. It's increasing these days, and it can become quite major and very debilitating. People low energy, they can't, bloated, just lethargic. They don't know how to function anymore because their digestive system is not working properly, and that's because of bowel. Usually people have a yeast infection in the bowel.
Well, once you've got a problem with your bowel, it just escalates, doesn't it?
It does, and it can. The problem can grow. It can start off minor. You can just one day think, oh, I just feel a bit yucky after I've eaten something, and then it just gets worse and worse as the years go on, because it actually grows. It gets so you get a yeast infection. It's growing in your bowel. Not good, and doctors don't look for it, so that makes it even harder. So a lot of people go and have doctor's tests, and the doctor says, oh, you've got irritable bowel. And irritable bowel is just a name that a doctor's given to something, but they don't know what's really going on, so that's the name they've put to it. And I have so many people coming to me with that, and it's usually candida. They fix it, and they're wonderful. Their energies come back, and they feel healthier. They can eat without that horrible bloated feeling. They don't get nauseous anymore, and no headaches, and just new people. And they come to me all the time saying, I just feel so wonderful. And I've been going to the doctors for years. Why haven't they helped me? They don't detect this, and that's the problem.
That's all excellent. Okay, thank you so much for your time, Jan.
That's
much
right.
appreciated. I'm sure all of you as well.
Okay.